Okay, so let's pay attention what's going on here when we're looking for y equals mx plus b from this graph. We've done this before, okay? Maybe just the weekend, you're gone for a couple days, it just kind of takes some refreshing of your memory to get back on this. So, what I need to do is I need to find my slope, and then I also need to find my y-intercept. Okay, once I find those things, then I can plug them in to y equals mx plus b in that format. So if you look, there are no points on here, correct? There's no points. So you kind of have to, you're going to have to find your own points. So it's kind of like we're kind of putting an extra step into your thinking, kind of taking like a little bit away from you, so that way you can figure out how to do this when there's not given any points. Because on like other tests, they're not going to have any points on there. You're going to have to figure that out. So whenever we look for points, they got to be like perfectly crossing between where x and the y axis meet. Okay, so like where all of these lines meet perfectly, that line has to pass through that you can use. So there's a lot of points that you could use on here that are different. If you didn't pick the ones that I pick up here, it's fine. It's okay because it should all simplify down to the same number. Okay? So I'm going to pick this point right here because it passes through, and then also pick, let's see, I'll pick this one right there. So like I said, you might have picked two different points, and that's okay because they're it'll simplify down to the same because they're all on this line. It'll be the same slope. All right? So I need to see from this point to that point, right? I'm like scanning like from the left. You know how we talked about scanning? So this, I would get to this one first before I get here. Am I going up or down to get to this? Down, right? That's easy. So if I'm going down, I automatically am going to put a negative sign for my slope. That way I don't forget it. Okay, so it's negative. So now I'm going down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's going to be my numerator. Shh, can you please stop? That's going to be my numerator, and then I'm going to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's going to be my denominator. So we can reduce that. What does 5/10 reduce down to? 1/2. So negative 1/2 is my slope. If you don't know that it simplifies down to 1/2, then you just put that in your calculator, hit enter, it'll simplify your fraction for you automatically, right? If you hit control enter, remember it makes it to a decimal. We don't want to make it to a decimal. Okay, we could if we wanted to, but we're just going to leave it as a fraction here. Okay, so now I need to look for my y-intercept. So this is my y-axis. Okay, I explained this way to somebody Friday, and they like understood it like really fast. So I put my finger on the y right here up top. I'm going to follow this line down until I get to the other line that crosses it, right? And it's right there. So there is my y-intercept. This point right there, which is 4. So my y-intercept is going to be positive 4. You could put plus. You don't have to put plus if you don't want to, but you could. If I'm going down here, and like say my line crosses down here, it's going to be what? Got to make sure you have the negative. Okay, it's a negative point. So now that I have these two, they're in there, I can go ahead and write my equation. Y equals negative 1/2 x plus 4. So was it really something different that we did? Was it hard or difficult? No, not really, right? It's maybe, like I said, you just kind of maybe forgot it over the weekend. But that's how you do this. This is going to be on your test on Wednesday. So we got to make sure that we know this. There's also some of these on your homework, which will help you tonight also to remember. All right. Okay. So y'all go ahead, write your names on that. We'll pass those up to the front. Lisa Ray, you can hit. Okay. So make sure we're on this page first. What we're doing is we are taking these problems down here, like 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we're going to match it up with a slope-intercept equation from up here with that. Now there's more of these than there are these down here. So you might not use some of these. So you can't just like kind of guess and see what goes with what. We've already kind of really done stuff like this. You just might not know it, and it might not seem like it. But do you remember when we were figuring out or writing equations, and we had to find the variable and the constant, right? So that's what we're doing now. When we did the writing equation stuff, it was only like we had to find two of them because we had to set them equal to each other. This, we're only finding like one set of variable and constants. So you're kind of already got a good familiarity of this. So it shouldn't be that difficult. Now, on all these here, okay, this is my slope. This is my y-intercept. If you look on O right here, what do you notice? There's no y-intercept, right? There's no like plus or minus to that. So if there's no y-intercept, that means it's going to be through 0. All right? So if it goes through 0, then your line's going through the origin somewhere in here, down there. So it might not have a y-intercept, which means on these problems down here, it's not going to have a constant. So let's look at number 1. It says, suppose the water level of the McBride River is 34 feet and that it's receding at a rate of 0.5 foot per day. So I'm going to zoom in. We need to find a variable. Make this a little bigger. A variable and a constant. Okay? Just like what we were doing, I don't know, last 6 weeks sometime. Okay? So, in this problem here, is the river moving or doing anything 34 feet per day or 0.5 feet per day? Because I want to find out what my variable is going to go with. Is the variable going to go with 34 or 0.5? 0.5, because that's what the amount of this river is moving every day. Okay? So, my variable is going to be 0.5 and then put an x with it. Okay? This is the same thing as the slope. Okay? Now, what I need to do is see, whenever I have it on a graph, the first thing I do from point to point is I find out if it goes up or if it goes down, right? So I need to see if it's positive or negative. So if this is receding at a rate, who knows what receding means? Have y'all heard like when you have people that have a receding hairline? It's like going away, right? They're going bald. Okay? So if it's going away, is that a positive or a negative thing? Negative. Yeah, it's a negative thing, right? Yeah, it won't happen to me either. So, this is going to be a negative slope, okay? So right here, I'm going to put my negative sign in front of that. And then the constant is where the river was at, where it's already at, which is 34. So when you find that, that's the y-intercept. Okay, so once I have those two things, I can write my equation. Y equals negative 0.5x plus 34. Good. Yeah, it's P. Bobby says it's P, and he's right. Right there. Okay, so over here.
Is it going to spell out something?
I don't know. It's not going to spell out anything.
I thought it was going to spell out P's at first, but then...
No, it's not going to spell out anything.
Could put the order where it says math rules.
Yeah. Okay, so that's what we're doing here on this side. Okay, so let's turn to the back really quick so we can see what it is we're doing here, and then I'll let you kind of get to work. So we'll go to the back. Okay, so these 6 graphs right here go with these 6 problems here. The ones on the bottom go with those 6. All right? So what we did on our warm-up, we went from the graph to the equation. So you can do that. That's fine. Okay? You can go to A, find out my y-intercept. Okay? You can find the slope. You can find 2 points on there. All right? what you can also do is figure out from my equations here which one of these, A, B, C, D, or E, or F, matches with what's over here. So I'm going to take a look at number 16 first. So 16, I got my slope, and I got my y-intercept. So my y-intercept is what? Negative 3, okay? So if it's negative 3, I'm going to look. Does this go down, does this meet at negative 3? No. This one? No. No. All these are pretty obvious because look, they're... So now I have E. Does this meet at negative 3 though?
No.
1, 2. No. F. Finger goes down. That's at negative 3. So that's my answer for that first one. I only have to look at my slope. Okay? I just know that F is going to go with 16.
And this one E is 2.
Right. So you can kind of see, or not 2, but 17. You talking about 17?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can do it that way. Where you're going to need to be careful, though, is on number 19 and number 21. Why? Because what? They're both the same y-intercept. So you're going to have to now go to the slope. What does this top number mean? Does it go up or down? Up. It goes up 1 because it's a positive. This one is going to go up 2. All right, so you got to figure that out there, down there. Now, down here on the bottom, if you notice, H, right here, it goes straight up and down, like that. And then K goes horizontal this way. All right? So, one of those two is going to go with number 22 because look at number 22. It doesn't have a slope on there. And then look at 27. X equals negative 3. So you're going to kind of have to figure out which one goes with what. All right. So you're working on this. When you're done, like I said, then you're going to show us that you got an understanding of it, and then we'll give you your homework. Some of y'all might already be done. Huh?
You do the back first?
It doesn't matter which one you do first.